All right, good morning. September 1st, coming at you um, as a guy who needs a haircut, a shave, but that's all right. We'll see when that gets put on the old agenda. But today I wanted to talk about a concept that I learned in IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which is called primary food. And this actually isn't food at all. It's all the other things in your life that IIN has identified as really the most important things, right? And I think that can these 12 categories, which encompass what we call the circle of life, are really what's important, right? Like things such as your career, your physical activity, your relationships, and your spirituality. These are really the top four, if we were to identify four that we could really hone in on. But then you also include things like your finances, your education, your creativity, your home environment and home cooking, joy, social life. These are all things, and then just your overall, last one, your overall health, right? And this would just be like kind of things like doing checkups, getting blood work done on an annual basis, right? Not neglecting the things that you're supposed to do to ensure that, to do those preventative things. But I can tell you that when I've embraced looking at life through this lens of these 12 categories and like, hey, how is what I'm doing right now affecting that? Am I doing something for my career? Am I doing something with my relationships? Am I improving on those things? Now, man, there's 12 of these categories. We have 24 hours in the day. Typically, people are sleeping between 6 and 8 of them, right? To have all 12 of those categories truly operating at an optimum level is going to be tough to do. But, man, in the last year since I've been really in touch with this program, because it's one of the first things they teach you, like when you start thinking about life in this way and looking at these 12 categories, things for me at least just started to make sense. You're like, well, why would I be, playing that game on my phone, right? Like during the pandemic, I was like playing Mario Kart, for example, like all the time, just to kill time, right? And is that something productive? Like, okay, sure, it's something that's giving me joy, but how much, right? I'm gaining like little achievements and things like that, right? Like little digital trophies. How silly does that sound, right? This is going to be one of the topics that comes up often in my little talks here, because these 12 categories, we can dive into each of them a little bit deeper, because they've had such a profound effect on my life. I can't tell you how much like looking at my life through these 12 categories has changed everything, along with the 12 steps of AA. So some synergy there. I'm always looking for those connections, always looking for those parallel relationships, that those symbiotic things. And when we look at our lives through this lens, and people always want to ask me like, oh, Sean, you're a health coach, right? Like, tell me what to eat, And I said, well, before we really dive into that secondary food that we classified, and let's look at that primary food. Let's look at those 12 things in your life, and let's analyze what's going on there. Because when we start to analyze those things, very often what you're putting on your plate is being dictated by what else is going on in your life. Are you taking time to slow down? Are you taking time to talk to people in your family, talk to friends, make those connections? Are you overworked? Are you overplayed? Are you burning are you burning the candle at both ends, right? This is something that I absolutely could identify with. Just, the exhaustion, the mental fatigue that I was going through when I was drinking. Like, it was just like trying to be this person on the surface for everybody else, and worrying about what I did the night before, and then like waking up and being like, okay, how do I just piece my life back together? And one of the things, like, there's a bunch of sayings that come about in these 12-step programs and things, and one of those things is, take it easy and live life on life's terms. I'll leave it at that. Circle of life. There's the plane. And it's a loud one. See ya.